Cause I've been slowly learning about it, like the how Goro's a cuck and how
Yeah.
Oh,
and how they're slowly like falling in love with their partners, but
Yeah.
one of them is most likely a lesbian, and one likes the other one, but didn't like her partner, so they switch. It's weird, but
oh
it
my
makes
god, I
sense,
fucking beat him.
right?
Well, I took
And
my entire supply of fucking healing items.
I I guess at some point she I'm still trying to comprehend why so many people are upset about it. Like, I get it,
Well,
it's
we
the
still haven't
shipping and
reached it
whatnot.
yet.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, in
So
my head, I'm trying to like follow the footsteps. I'm
yeah.
trying to. They've explained already that
How
she
did
is.
this go wrong, kind of thing.
Yeah, like how did we get there? Because in terms of matters of the heart, we already understand that every single one of them is inexperienced. We understand that
Still,
they're slowly
there's really no
comprehending some of
education
this.
for it.
Yeah, they're slowly understanding bits and pieces of it, but they don't know what any of this is. They're not talking to their superiors about it, so they're not getting any kind of counseling. They're literally consulting each other who have no experience in this. So naturally, stupid decisions are going to be made because they're fucking teenagers. Like, why was it so bad? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I'd say just keep going because honestly, I think the kids part is perhaps the most interesting aspect of it.
It is, cause I
Because it
like
does
the
explain
idea
things
that
and goes into a bit of the weird story and the weird world. So you learn a
yeah,
little bit more and stuff, which I think it's more interesting. And also because there's a lot more backstory for some of the characters, which is really nice. It actually starts to make things a little more interesting at that point. Unfortunately, afterward, I stopped caring. It peaked at that moment. No,
it
let me put it
peaked.
this way. At the end, right at the end of that part, it should have been the halfway mark, and that should have been the second arc. They
Yeah.
remembered or whatever the heck happened, and then it continues. Instead, they have 2 episodes afterward of like another. It basically they use 2 episodes to establish to the characters what we already established ourselves.
Oh, so, okay, because I saw that one clip show episode where it looks like they used the CG for the mechs, and it's like, oh, the characters recap their favorite parts, and then there was another one that looked like
Well,
not a recap episode. Is that what you're talking about?
well, no. I mean that was an extra bonus thing I think they did. It's kind of like publicity, or they had to make more episodes. So I
Mhm.
mean, like, I mean, like, put it this way: how do you feel about the main protagonist and the O2?
02 is not at all what I thought she was gonna be like. So it's kind of refreshing that she's not the shitty, starry-eyed, I want to fuck you
Yeah,
kind of girl that I
seems to
thought she was
have
gonna be.
a weird sense to her, but she's not bad, right? I mean, like
I
you feel like I would say this one. I feel the relationship right, previously before the kid episodes, the flashback episode.
yeah
The relationship was forced. It was kind of happening. I'm like, whatever. It's just. And then they start developing more and more. And start a little more interesting.
yeah
As they kind of do the split. Oh, they're my wing or whatever. And more and more. It gets interesting there. And then you like, then I start feeling like, you know what? I think they could be together. That'd be fine, right? No problem. He wants to die, he can die loving her. And that's usually what my position is. I'm like, whatever, I'm there now. Especially after the kid, the kid episode. Yeah, alright, let's go for it.
yeah
Then
yeah
2 episodes after that are used to establish that to the characters.
Oh, they do
Hey,
that.
hey,
They do that.
hey,
Shinji's behind everyone, so let's slow it down for Shinji bit.
kind of.
Ah,
More like,
fuck.
more like the two characters are going for something. So now that's everyone else is behind it. Now it's not behind as in it's slow to understand it. So now we have to make sure every other character understands their love. On top of even though the character, the watcher, already kind of is like, yeah, I don't care, they're fine, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 2 episodes of this isn't needed. This could have been used for something else. This could have been more interesting, but it's like 2 episodes of, hey, look, don't you want them to be together? Like, I already felt that way beforehand, kind of thing. It's for probably the minority group that didn't feel like they should be together, kind of thing, and was to convince them, which is the minority group, probably.
I'll be back.
I don't know. I would say you might get a little more understanding when you watch it, but it's I don't know. I dropped the show after a while, but it's not because I dropped it. I'm just like, I'm not interested to keep watching right now. So, I mean, if you like it enough, then I might get back to it. But yeah, I would say like definitely the flashback is good. Afterward, I don't know. Anyways, what are your statements after my rant?
I don't know. It's weird. I feel like they could have dialed 02 back a little bit.
Yeah.
I know what they're going for. She's this like pessimist who's designed a certain way. I get it. I feel like they could have dialed her back a tiny bit. I don't hate Hero, but the main character, Darling.
Yeah.
I don't hate him, but I feel like more importance was placed on him than it was deserved.
Protagonist, the fucking number, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I know that's kind of why I'm not drawn. Cause like if it was any other character, oh, he named all of them. Oh, he had high compatibility with stuff. He was destined to do this, and then he fell short. If it was any other character, not the main one, I feel like it would work better. But because he's our main character, I don't care.
Yeah, he's a fourth main character, and it's just you tire of him, honestly enough.
Yeah.
Like it's you don't have to like him because O2 loves him, and that's good. But I mean, doesn't mean you care. And that's my problem with a lot of the characters is I don't care about a lot of the characters. They're kind of boring.
I actually like the frail boy. What's his fucking name? Mr. Stick Up His Ass.
Oh, fuck. The one seemed frail boy, but I don't remember exactly.
Cause they talked about how he had a frail body, even though he doesn't fucking look it. The slick back, he rode with 02 for a minute.
Right, rode over 02 and then fucking ended up in the hospital bed.
Yeah, that fucker. I kind of like him because I can see what they're going for. He's constantly wanting approval. He really looks up to Hero, and he's always doing his best, but he doesn't know how to again back to the whole.
He looks up to Hero, and then something happened. Like again, the flashback will actually get into his backstory a little bit more too. Nice. But yeah, like he's got some backstory to him, and he's probably like the few characters that get some significant backstory. I mean, they had the fight in the dome so far, where the short kid, that's
the cocky one,
the prideful one,
yeah,
cocky one, yeah, that went into the building and he met the adult, and it's like, why do I feel about this kid?
Yeah, I figured that was a whole they had him as a child and give him away thing.
Right, I was thinking too. I have no clue if they explained that.
They haven't yet.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's a big plot thing, but I haven't seen anything yet about it, so I don't know either about that one. And then there's the big guy. I don't know anything about him. I don't think he gets any back there. I think he is meant to just be cut, honestly enough.
Yeah. I
feel all they want is to get cut in the end.
Hard style cuck too,
yeah. Similarly, I think the Bastard Girl is gonna get cut as well, and they're just gonna end up being cut together. I guess.
Cut.
Well, cause love isn't a thing.
You're talking figuratively and not literally in this anime.
Maybe they're getting physically cucked. I don't know. We haven't finished the show. Maybe they have actual sex, but they get their pairs are picked out. Like they don't get to pick their pairs at first, and the big guy is given the shy, really nice girl, and he's like infatuated with her. Like he praises her, he talks about how much he likes her, and he's there's an episode where she's a sweetheart, and there's an episode where he's like, oh, we don't, when they were like, oh, you guys get a chance to swap partners, just let us know and we'll do a test run, and he's like, I don't think we need a partner switch. We're perfect, right? I'll do whatever I can to ride with you, as long as I can do that. And she's like, yeah, I promise. We don't ever need to switch. And then immediately after that, their superior comes in and is like, all right, guys, have you guys made decisions? She's like, I kind of want to ride with this guy.
Immediately, almost.
Like, almost immediately. And the fat kid like, just like literally breaks out into tears, like, oh my god, you promised, what's going on? And then they ride, they're a pretty decent match. It's like almost as if they were supposed to be partners beforehand, kind of thing.
Yeah. I want to say something does go wrong though, and not a good.
Yeah, but that's a medical thing and not the compatibility thing. It's because he still has that. They call it the child fever. I don't know what the fuck that means.
It's that fucking, I don't know. World building, if you want to call it that.
And
the child fever.
It's only world building if it's ever explained.
And
otherwise it's bullshit loopholes and plot holes.
And then they do like an actual fight against enemy of the week, and they pilot really well, and she basically confesses her love without confessing her love to the new guy that she's riding with. And so the fat kid like eventually gets over it, and even though he still like really likes this girl, he's just kind of fine with it. So he's literally getting cucked because she wants to be with the other guy, and
like,
it's implied that she wants to have a baby.
She doesn't know what the fuck a baby is, really.
She doesn't know.
She just knows that adults would have children, and she found a book on it.
Yeah. She wants to be a mom.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then the purple haired girl that was supposed to be riding with the guy that got picked by the nice girl, she wanted to try doing, because the partners are male and female. It's like they always have to be male and female. The men are called stamen and the women are called pistons.
Yeah.
And
is this a plant thing?
No. It's
no.
maybe it's more of a sex thing, really.
I don't remember. I remember looking it up and I forget now. But it's
because those are the plant parts.
Yeah, I know.
So,
essentially, how the mechs.
Premise of this anime?
Some post-apocalyptic world. This group of kids are part of the last line of defense. They pilot mechs where the guy is the pilot and the girl is the mech itself, and they have to pilot together. And that's about all I know at the moment.
Yeah.
So like, does she do some like Ultraman fucking transformation?
No,
bullshit?
they get like special suits. The girl will like lay down in a specific space and like. How would you explain it, Chris?
Like the girl is basically the nervous system of the robot, and the guy becomes like the control system of it all.
Yeah.
Like for the girl, it's like just a second nature control scheme. She just does things almost because the brain tells her, and the brain is the guy. I guess they can still talk to one another about piloting. Basically,
so it's like she's the reactions and shit,
right?
But
like
he's the one giving the directions.
The male can't operate the thing by himself, so the female just kind of does all the unconscious actions, kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and the male will focus on active options.
And there is a way for the girls to pilot it on their own, but it's some weird stampede mode that apparently puts too much strain on their bodies and would kill them instantly.
Yeah.
It's some weird thing, but the purple haired girl wanted to do piston pilot, where it was two girls in the in the mech instead of a guy and a girl, to see if it would work in case. She justified it by saying, what if there's a situation where we're down a stamen and we only have pistons?
Yeah.
Which, you know, it makes sense.
Pretty sure she's just a lesbian though. That's
yeah, it's not on the nose, but the hints are there. She very much enjoys the company of Ichigo. She very much does not care for her fucking partner. She when it didn't work, she got extremely upset. Not because it didn't work, but because it didn't work with Ichigo. Also, the whole sex thing, that is a very hammered in concept. It's very weird. Because the handles for controlling the mech come out of the side of the girl's suit, and the side of the girl's suit where it comes out of is her ass side. And
God.
It's weird.
Why are they making this so weird?
I don't. They haven't explained anything yet.
It's supposed to lead. I'm assuming it's gonna lead up to some weird thing about love and like relationships and like a lot of stuff. Like it's like it goes somewhere, right? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
It's coming off as cringy fan fiction.
Cause cause they
a way to show young adult sex without actually having sex.
I mean, yeah, cause it's very hammered in when they link in and they grab the handles and stuff. It's implied that the girl can feel it, and they'll make noises as if they're inserting, and then every single phrase muttered afterwards has some kind of double entendre, where it's like, don't tense up so much, loosen up a little bit, I'm gonna go deeper, hang on just a little longer, is that all you've got? These are literal lines in the fucking show.
I wonder if they just,
like I said,
like,
subtlety
how
is
long
not
can I
there.
get away with this?
There's no subtlety at all.
There is not.
It's going in for it. The question is, fine, it is what it is. What's that mean to this though? And I don't know.
Before
either.
you have some evil pilot who forces himself into one of the fucking mechs,
Oh my goodness, I hope not.
traumatizes the poor girl.
It's possible, because there's a dick scrunchie of a new character they just introduced, whatever that Special Unit 9 fucker is.
Yeah, those guys.
He keeps talking about how he's taken an interest in them, and he keeps egging Ichigo on by saying, hey, you know that guy you like, hey, you know he's probably going to die, right? You know he's probably going to die, right?
It's, yeah, I
Before
don't
the
know
guy probably dies. Right.
Like I said, after the flashback episodes, I don't remember if it's 2 or not.
Yeah, I'm about to start the
halfway,
flashback episode.
It should have done the second arc at that point, and then everything else should just kind of been whatever the heck. And I probably would have kept watching, honestly. But it doesn't. It does a few more episodes, unfortunately.
And like, it's just kind of weird overall. The last thing I'll bring up is it's just how it's interesting how they bring up the way because I just learned about how they do the schooling and stuff. It's literally like they sit them down, they teach them basics like basic math, basic literature, language and stuff. But anything past that is deemed not necessary. And there's this whole thing of once an orphan leaves their the garden, the orphanage that they're raised at, they never come back. Nobody knows why. Well, the adults know why, but nobody else knows why, so they haven't told us yet. And it's implied that in the one episode, the prideful kid that met with the old woman, it's implied that she told him what's supposed to happen, but then it monologues and goes, oh yeah, I stopped thinking about her after a minute, and then I just couldn't remember her face, and that's it.
Yeah, he just wasn't paying attention.
Like he blocked it from his mind or
Fucking
something because
God damn it.
it just shattered his memory. It just shattered his ideals.
Yeah. I don't know. There's definitely something they could do, I guess. I'm interested, but I really hope it's just something super foreseeable. With all the, subtleties we've had so far. I hope it's an indicator of the writing.
In before it gets even less subtle.
I mean, apparently it shits the bed, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Beep.
I mean, you're gonna
Beep,
keep watching
beep.
it, so you'll give us a good detail
Beep,
what's going
beep.
on with it later.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Beep,
Must be
beep.
stronger than me, Joey. And just not care halfway through.
Beep, 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 beep,
I mean, I-
beep, beep.
Probably go watch some Persona. I like that one. Fucking dragon riding war.
Oh.
Anyways, that's a fun anime actually so far. It's pretty good. I
Oh,
really actually do like the main character's dumb bullshit quirk.
Overlord 3 started
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah,
I saw the
You
first
watched it?
episode. I am excited.
good. Pretty good.
Cause you remember how I said they go on vacation?
Yeah. It's a dumb vacation.
It's not quite vacation. You know what it is? He gives them all a day off
Oh,
to go do whatever they want. The first episode is already great. He brought in Sabis and what's her fucking name? The water girl.
Water girl.
What the fuck is her name?
Water
Mist
girl, I
it
don't know.
mist fuck. It's not important. It's not important. They were there when he saved the slave girl and they were infiltrating as the priestess and not priestess, the noblewoman and her butler. He's like,
It's like the slime girl.
yeah, the slum girl.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
They're like, he's like, I commend you for doing such a great job of getting information for us. As such, I'm giving you guys one request. And then he's like, hey Sabis, you asking me to let in the girl and me responding by giving her my specific divine protection, that's not part of your favor. So you can go ahead and have something else. And he's like, oh, just all that is enough for me, sir. And he's like, it's kind of annoying to have selfless people in my ranks. And he's like, I would like new clothes for her maybe. And he's like, perfect. I'll give you enough gold to give her whatever the fuck you want. And tomorrow you are ordered to go out and purchase them with her as a date. And he's like, a date?
shopping trip.
He's like, a date? I'm sure, sir. I'm all right.
God and his girlfriend go
and then the slime girl's like, he's like, what would you like? And she's like, oh, I would very much like some humans. And I was like, oh, does she want pets? It's like, pure ones to be would be most favorable. And I was like, oh, she's probably gonna eat them. And he's like, she was like, innocent ones would be most favorable. And he's like, okay, I will get you some humans, but no innocence. I'm sorry, I can't give it to you to the fullest. And then he makes all the girls hang out together.
Like with the maids or the battle girls or
The
all girls.
the elf girl in the pants, the twins, the three officers. I can't remember names right now. I don't know why.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And they go and do a thing, and then he makes up like a little. He has Demigra make up like a little mock-up for a guy's day out. like an outline of what they should do.
Yeah.
And we only see the girls and the guys' day out. We didn't in the first episode. You don't see Sabus's date yet. You don't see what the slime girl does. They introduced a new maid. They introduced 2 new maids. They're going on vacation, Chris, and it's fucking great. my favorite bit so far is the girls are outside. The succubus, she summons up her steed, her mount, right? And it's basically just a corrupted bicorn. She gets on it, and then it starts like freaking out and like stamping its feet like it's in pain. She gets off, it gets on it like lays down, it's like sighing and whatnot. So the first insult thrown at her is, "Did you get heavier?" And she's like, "No, fuck you, I did not get heavier." And then it's the vampire girl. She pulls out an encyclopedia she got and looks it up, and it says that bicorns only let pure maidens ride them, and her steed, which is essentially the opposite of a bicorn, won't let pure maidens ride it. And so they start looking at her and it's like, "Wait, you haven't? But you're a succubus, right?" And she's freaking out like, "No, I've been busy and I can't get alone time with Master." And and then the elf girl's like, "Wait, have you done it?" And the vampire chick's like, "Only with someone of the same sex," implying that she does it with her servants. And she says how it's hard to find good men out there.
She's not wrong.
It's
Goddamn demigod girl talk.
It's so dumb, but so great. It's so great.
I'm gonna check it out hopefully soon. I'm happy I got the 3rd season. And like, not too long after the 2nd came out, huh?
Yeah, no, this was the fastest turnaround. It's so great.
Yeah.
I saw that the trailer went up. The trailer went up like last week, and I was like, "Oh, it's probably slated to come out in the fall or something." Nope.
Yeah. Just poof, here we go.
It's just out. Here you go. We're finished. It's okay.
Now I think I did read that they don't have much manga story after this one though.
That's totally fine. I am a-okay with that. If we get more stuff like this, I don't give a shit.
No, I think they're either gonna wait or they're gonna have to just go off the rails and do their own thing for a while, which would be fine if this is it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like I fucking it's good.
Yeah, I'm happy if we can get more. Overlord is good. I enjoy it. I hope they do explain some things. Like
I think when they start introducing, because going off of the intro, they're supposed to introduce that guy from the very end of the last season, that Gilgamesh-looking fucker.
Oh, the fucking people of those weird.
I think more story stuff is gonna come into play when he shows up.
Yeah. What's this? Crunchyroll or Hulu? I don't fucking know.
I saw the first episode on Crunchyroll.
Okay. Should I get Crunchyroll or the other one? Fucking Vive.
Verve?
Yeah.
I would only say get Verve if you're gonna actually use the other stuff in it.
What else does it have that's...
Frederator, the channel Frederator. It's got Funimation in it. It's got... I don't know if it's got Rooster Teeth. It's got a bunch of smaller online companies, media sources and stuff.
They're more expensive as a result of it, though.
No, actually, it's like, I think, $12 a month.
That's not too bad.
It's about the same price. It's just one big package. But it's not really worth it if you're only gonna use it for Crunchyroll, you know.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did on VRV too. I'll look into which one to get, honestly enough. I've been meaning to get one because I had Hulu for a good bit.
Mm.
There's some stuff on Hulu, but honestly, I don't know. Hulu didn't have enough for me to keep going with it. Like, there's a lot of good shows on there, but there's too many shows sometimes.
Yeah, Hulu is more designed for the if you're trying to watch something ongoing.
Yeah. Need something just for the general anime stuff.
Like, it's nice that they're adding more of the more older stuff, like how they put Seinfeld on there, and how they're putting like Pat said, a bunch of the DC animated movies and stuff. It's nice that there's branching out, but they've always been designed for current running shows, so it's a little harder to get more out of it if you're looking for other stuff.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I originally got Hulu 2, they didn't actually have anymore. Like the license for the show is gone or something like that.
Hmm.
They're like, well, it's do have Brooklyn, though. I haven't watched that in a good bit, though.
Oh, I just remembered that they put another Fate series on Netflix. I need to watch that and Apocrypha. Yeah, another one.
The Emiya one or a different one on top of that?
You know, I'm not
Well,
sure. I need to go and look at it.
I have Netflix. I just have Netflix.
But they've also done they finally did a movie for Heaven's Feel, the third story route, where it focuses on Sakura instead of Rin and Saber.
Okay, I don't know much about Fate story, right? There's so much as far as I know.
Well,
You know what? I'm not
just the original Fate Stay Night, how it started. Since it had 3 branching story paths. The Fate Stay Night anime is the first story path where Saber ends up being the love interest. So the story is supposed to be geared more towards those two getting together. The Unlimited Blade Works is the second story route, which you can only unlock by finishing the first one, and that's by choosing Rin as the love interest, and it's supposed to focus more towards that. And then Heaven's Feel is the third story route of the first visual novel. It's the third story route where you focus on romancing Sakura, and because she doesn't hold a whole lot of weight in the story, and she doesn't hold a whole lot of weight unless you do her story route, and then she becomes really important. Yeah.
Right. No, I know that part. I'm like, just in general, beyond those 3, I don't know where it continues from.
Anime wise, you can go ahead and do Fate Zero, which is it's just essentially a prequel of what happened before then.
I have the list order of that too.
Yeah, because I know the animes have been taking liberties over some of the story. Because I think the second Fate Stay visual novel focused on a bunch of futuristic stuff. Like Emiya was now instead of being an archer, he was summoned as like a servant of the Holy Grail or something. He's like a whole different class that's not even a part of the normal servants or anything. And then there's they had concept art for, because Saber Artoria was originally a guy and his summoner was originally female. They made a little OVA about that. I think it was like 1 or 3 episodes, something like that.